caught surprised by the way we looked. The years had changed us too. We smiled and both embraced like old friends often do.
Hello again. Welcome to another episode of GUNG HO. It's December 29, 2019. I know you must know that I'm a criminal defense lawyer. I've done over 500 shows. So you know that about me. You know I'm an ex-Marine or a Marine. I had a long career as a criminal defense attorney. My whole career was fighting against corrupt cops, detectives, judges, DAs, but I won most of my cases. I lost some cases that I really believed in my client, and I have Juan Reyes with me now. This is one guy that I believed 110% in his innocence, and when I took over the case, he was already indicted, and that means a grand jury had decided there was enough evidence to take him to trial. They didn't decide his guilt or innocence. So he was already locked up in the Brooklyn House of Detention, and he was being held on $250,000 bond or $150,000 cash. And this is a man that's presumed to be innocent. All right. Let's start out. Tell me just a little bit about your life before you got arrested.
Sure. I was in high school. And my mom and my dad separated, so it was, a little hard for my mother to really take care of us. I have 2 other brothers and a sister, 3 siblings, including me is 4. So it was so hard for my mom, and decided, I need a job. I need to work, Joe, and help my moms out and my siblings as well. I was considered, like, when my father left my mother, and I was considered the man of the house. Always, I don't know. I have a twin brother, but I was always considered the one, to look up for my siblings or care for them. And when my mom is not.
I know now, of course, that you had a nickname called Muscles.
Yeah.
Because of the way you were built.
No, well, they gave me my name Muscles because I played baseball. I started playing baseball when I was 7 years old, picking up a bat, and I don't know, I guess I started building my upper body, my wings, really, like it was. So I was pretty powerful, my arms. So when we played baseball, I was so short and hit the ball so hard and pretty far, and I had my chest was like sort of shaped like a bird, so I looked a little husky, a little strong, a little built, and they gave me the name Muscles, cause it was playing baseball.
And what neighborhood were you raised in?
At that time, when they gave me that name Muscles, was East New York, Brooklyn.
And all right, so let's go down. The date of the murder was, again, what was it?
It was in 1995.
It was December?
It was November 5th of 1995 it happened. It said noon.
And I sort of recall, but you remember something about that day, right?
Yes.
What did you remember?
I was with my girlfriend at the house, and my girlfriend, it was a school day, and my girlfriend she was suspended that day. And she didn't want her mother to know that she was cutting school. So she would like ring the bell and come upstairs. She'd say, Juan, open the door. And she would come. I would throw the key. She would come upstairs and stay until like probably 2:30, 3 o'clock. And
then I remember that you went back to your neighborhood with her.
Yes. We decided to walk to the neighborhood, and we walked from, it was Myrtle and Putnam all the way. It would take like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that, about 20-minute walk from Myrtle and Putnam to Diamond Wyckoff.
And something Then you
Yes.
found out something.
Yes, when I arrived to because Kiana Corchado, she has a friend there in the second. That's why I met her. Her name was, I think, Maria, something like that. Her best friend that went to school with her. She went to her house, and when I arrived at the corner, she went to her house, and I saw my little brother. I seen ambulance, fire department, squad cars, police officers, and something was wrong. I said, my brother comes out the video store in the corner, Ray's Video, and I asked him, well, what's wrong, what's all this? And he told me that someone was murdered and shot, and he thinks that it was one of his friends named Chucky, something like that. It happened because it happened in this building. But it was not Chucky. After we found out it was not Chucky, it was someone else. So I went up the block to my cousin's house, and everybody already knew what happened, and like they heard shots, they seen squad cars, and everyone was out in the street. So after that, I just stood there, and then I just went home, went to my mother's house.
How many days later did they arrest you?
This happened November 5th. About a month and a half, I'm not sure, a month later. December, I think it was sometime in December.
I know from doing the hearings and the trial that that precinct one day stopped you and a couple of your friends. Somebody broke a bottle.
No, it was actually, yes, I remember that day. We went to, I think we went to Wendy's. It was at Wendy's. I was sitting in the back. My friend Isaac was in the passenger, and my other friend Jason was his driver. He was driving. It was a white Camry, I think it was. So we just came from Wendy's, and he was drinking a cup of Jason. So he threw it out the window. He was driving, he threw it out the window, and there was an officer, police officer, walking by, and he said that Jason, the driver, threw a cup at him. It landed, the curb was over there, the cup landed like about 3 feet from him. So.
And what happened?
Oh, he radioed in the little incident, and he told the officers in the squad car that the driver threw him with intentionally threw him with the cup.
And what did they do?
Oh yeah, okay. They stopped the car. We didn't know. We seen cars behind us and whatever, and they stopped the car. It was about three squad cars. They took us out the car. They smacked Jason in the face. They struck them in the face, and took all of us in. They arrested us, put cuffs, and took us to the 83rd precinct.
They arrested all of you?
All three, yes.
Cuffed all of you?
Yes.
Maybe you didn't know this, you probably did. The 83rd precinct was notorious for being a bad place, a lot of corrupt cops and detectives. Did you know that?
At the moment, no.
So when you get to the 83rd, what happened?
Oh, yeah, so they put us in the pen, and they took pictures of us and let it go. They took a picture of me. I was the last one. They took a picture of Jason first, then Isaac Burgos, and then I was the last one. They let them go. They took a picture of me and let me go.
They let you go?
Yes.
How long were you in the precinct?
Well, good, probably 40 minutes.
But I remember now, they were Polaroid. They were not mugshots, they were Polaroid photos.
Yeah, I remember the Polaroid, yes, yes.
This becomes important later on. All right, so was it Detective Roman that actually arrested you at home? Was it at home?
He didn't arrest me. He actually asked me, can you come down to the precinct? Because I need to talk to you about something, about a murder that happened. I said, okay, my conscience of like innocence. I said, okay, I'll go. So before that, they go into my house, to my mother's house, and my mother, at the time I had a pager. My mother always wanted to know my whereabouts, whatever, just all her children, all her siblings, My mother, she always worries. So she called me at the pager. I called her back. I was at Rodney's house, And she said, please come to the house. There are these officers. They're saying some awful things. They searched the house. They were banging on the door, so I opened. I let them come in, and
Your mother let them come in.
that she consented. Yes, she don't know the law, you know.
And you went back?
So when she called me, I said, all right, Mom, I'll be there right now. At the time, Rodney said, no, don't go. Don't go to the precinct. I'll have someone to go with you. I'm called a lawyer right now. I was so worried about my mother. She's sick, asthma, heart problems. She was crying, so I decided to go, you know.
So you went voluntarily to the precinct?
Voluntarily, yes.
You weren't in cuffs or anything at that time?
No, I was not. They put me in the squad car. I don't drive. So they put me in the squad car. My mother came with me.
What do you mean you don't drive? You didn't have a license?
No, I didn't have a license at the time, no.
All right, so you get to the precinct, and is
Yes.
that where you meet Detective Roman?
Yes, Detective Roman and Luis Martinez was his partner. And they began questioning me. Joseph Roman was the one, he was the lead detective, I guess, in the case, and he was really questioning
I
me.
remember that he wrote something out, and he claimed it was yours.
Yes.
And you never signed
No,
it. You never
No.
initialed it. They
No.
never recorded it, and he was claiming that.
That I wrote it and I said this, that he said, I wrote it and I signed it. So.
But it wasn't a confession.
And then he put it, and the thing is, his initial is just like mine. I'm Juan Reyes, Jr., and he's Joseph Roman, Jr. So, I mean, it was probably so easy for him to just put Jr. on it, and I don't know. So, he questioned me there for good. We went in there at 6. It's like 4 in the afternoon. They decided to buy me something to eat. They bought me cigarettes. And no phone call. I asked to call. They didn't give me a phone call, which they said they did in the pre-trial. He's gonna say whatever he was gonna say, whatever he wants to say, whatever the judge want to hear. That's what he's gonna say. So.
Did they put you in lineups that day?
So, I'll take it back a little bit more. So, I didn't write anything. He wrote a statement. He signed it for me. So after the statement, he asked me if you want to get on. I want to put you in the lineups. I said, okay, fine, no problem. He put me in the lineups. He had brought some other boys that at the time, some other guys that were Hispanics. So he did, I think it was 2 lineups. And that's it. After that, he brought out, I think it's called the Miranda warnings.
After he questioned you.
After he questioned me, put me on lineups, he wrote a statement, and then he
read you the Miranda.
Yes. He told me, after every question, you have to write to me, remain silent. There's a little underline that for you to sign. So after every question, there was these sort of lines for you to put your initials, JR, after every question. So, and I told him, he said, sign here. I said, I'm not signing anything. I can't. I want to talk to my lawyer.
So the point is he had already interrogated you.
Yes.
And put you in lineups, and now he
Yes.
wants you to waive your rights.
Yes.
Your Miranda rights.
That's
which-
right.
Right
Yes,
to remain
yes.
silent. Anything could be, that whole thing. All right, so you got arrested. When did you realize it was a murder? Or an attempted murder?
What, my charges? That I was charged with murder?
Yeah. When did you realize that?
When you came to see me.
Wait a minute.
I didn't know what was the charges. I swear I didn't.
Well, how long were you in jail before I came to see you?
I think it was 2 days. I was detained. I was taken to Central Booking, downtown
So
Brooklyn.
I was on the case that soon.
Yes.
How the hell did you get indicted? That's crazy. I don't understand that then. All right.
It's just a long time ago, Joe.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm here to refresh a lot of your memories.
All right. The case winds up in front of Judge, I think his name was Joseph McKay.
Yes.
He had a very good rep for being a very fair judge. And while the case was in front of him, Janet Russo, ADA Janet Russo, requested you to take a polygraph.
Oh yes, I was in Brooklyn House Detention for Men at the time. I was maintaining my innocence. Of course, I pleaded not guilty. Maintaining my innocence. It was like 3 months in the case already, and she decided to come to court one day. Oh, says your client is innocent. Why won't he? Will he or can he take a polygraph test?
And this was on the record.
On the record, yes.
Telling the judge.
Yes, and you were surprised. You was, oh, okay.
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
So,
So you said yes immediately, and that's when, for some reason.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
I know the protocol.
Yes.
You know, every big law enforcement agency has a polygraph unit. I've been dealing with that unit for years. Maybe up until that time, I maybe had a half a dozen murder cases dismissed based on polygraphs. But there's a way to do it. I bring in my expert, who's a polygraph expert. They test my client. And then I turn you, my client, over to their expert, and they test you. That's the protocol. So I had a detective, an ex-detective that was an expert in polygraphs, come to you, Brooklyn House. You must remember that, right?
Yes, I do remember, and I remember you showed me some sort of like paper, saying that the judge McKay signed for you guys to come into
yes.
Brooklyn House, to giving you the permission.
Yes.
To come to test me that day. I remember, yes. It was sometime in the evening. I remember 5 o'clock.
And there was no doubt you passed it. And the
Yes.
issue was whether or not you were guilty or innocent, and
whether I intentionally or murdered Cesar Lacayo.
All right, so you passed it. We
Yes.
go back to court, and now you're ready to take their polygraph. Actually, they were going to take you from the courthouse to their office and polygraph. You were ready for that, and what happens?
Yeah, we came to court, and the ADA Janice Russo, she reneged. She said that she didn't want to. That it's okay. That what about her examine or go over the
No,
the
here's
answers,
what happened.
right?
She came back and said, we're not going to polygraph him. And then we adjourned the case, and we came back another time, and she said, we want the expert, our expert. We want his graphs and his report. We gave them that. And then we came back again, and she said, our expert agrees with your expert, that your client, passed the test. Meanwhile, we tested a suspect that Mr. Giannini mentioned, and he failed. And that's when Judge McKay said to her, so what are you going to do? He thought they were going to dismiss. And she said, we're going to go forward. And that's when what happened, the bail was reduced.
Yes, the bail was reduced from, it was $250 bond and $150,000 cash. And because of the polygraph, it was dropped to $10,000. And from that day, at 4 in the morning, I was supposed to be released. They didn't want to release me due to a bail source hearing at the time. They want to know where the money came from. I don't know why. But you came. I think my family called you saying they don't want to release me due to a bail source hearing. But Judge McKay didn't order a bail source hearing. It was the facility. And for some reason, I don't know what was going on. They want to release me at 4 in the morning. It was 5 in the morning, something like that. They called me downstairs. They fingerprinted. They said, you can't go anywhere. We need a bail source hearing. I was like, what is this? You went to Judge McKay. I believe you called Judge McKay. Judge McKay called the facility, and he said, if the defendant pays the bail, release him. Release defendant. And that's how I was released around 7 in the morning that day. Yeah. I was supposed to, so I waited 3 hours downstairs in the bullpen.
But you have been in jail for how long? 6 months?
6 months at the time.
All right.
Yeah.
And all that time, the case was in front of Judge McKay.
Yes, correct.
Really good judge. So here's what happens. we have to get ready for trial. We're ready for trial, and the case, all of a sudden, Judge McKay is on trial and he sends it out. Right? Remember that?
Yes. It was still in criminal supreme, right, at the
It
time?
was in
Hoyt Skimmerhorn, 120
Supreme
Skimmerhorn.
Court criminal term, yeah.
Yeah.
So we wind up going in front of a judge by the name of Joseph Bruno.
Yeah.
And I really don't know much about him. I've seen him in criminal court. But I don't know much about him. But I know that we have 3 or maybe 4 witnesses. Some of them actually saw the shooting, and they said it wasn't you. And we had presented those witnesses to the DA. They had gone down there and were questioned. I went down there, and they were questioned without me being present. And their statements were recorded. They were sworn statements. So we had like 4 witnesses that basically said, Juan didn't do this. And a couple of them actually said, who did it?
Yes,
Richard Pereira.
Yeah,
he said he
Richard
saw the
Pereira,
whole
yes,
thing.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, this is really strange. A murder case where people come forward right after you're arrested, and they say you're not the murderer. It should be an easy case.
I have the alibi of Kiana Cochera at the time as well. Kiana was with me, my girlfriend at the time.
So
yes.
we do the pretrial hearings, and I should have realized then that there was something about the judge that wasn't right.
And the detectives as well.
Yes. But I'm thinking, this is a slam dunk. I mean, I only had maybe 1 or 2 other cases where people came forward and said, no, it wasn't Juan, it was this other guy. I know the guy, I saw him do it,
Yeah.
So I waived a jury, but I tell you the truth, I really didn't discuss that with you. I just made a decision, I'm going to waive a jury, and I'm going to win this.
Yeah, at the time, I didn't know much about the law. I like the law. And we go outside, the judge says, you going to waive the jury? I asked me, I said, yeah. And he told you, take your client outside and discuss about this waiving about the waiver. We spoke outside the courtroom. You asked me, what do you think, Juan? I said, well, you're the professor, you're the trial lawyer. I heard so much about you, and you're very good, so whatever you want. He said, and you told me that I want a just trial. Tried by the court. I want to waive the jury for the reasons that they have witnesses, we have witnesses, and you didn't want to make this like a swearing contest. However, as well with presenting the police reports, you wanted to, because the judges know the law. When you present a police report, they know the law, and the jury don't know much about the police report, the technicalities of.
We knew that they had two witnesses, and we know that the victims, both of the victims, the one that died and one that was wounded, they were definitely drug dealers. They admitted to it. They had criminal background, and the other witness was high. And we knew that they only got 2 or 3 seconds to look at the shooter. And then we had all the police reports, and there was really no description of the shooter other than he was male Hispanic and about 18. That's the only description. There was no name, there was no nickname, that was it.
Yes.
So
no nicknames, no name, no description. It came back to me that a day someone said that, oh yeah, he was from the neighborhood, so I want him to pay.
All right, so
okay.
we waived the jury, and we do the hearings, and the judge ruled against us, but I wasn't concerned about that. I wasn't concerned about the issues in the hearing, the lineups. They come in, but the issue was, were you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? And there was so much reasonable doubt. So
insufficient evidence.
We waive.
Yeah.
And coming to an end in a little while. And we start the trial. And of course, they have to go forward. And I realized that, Joseph Alexis, he's a neophyte. He really doesn't know what he's doing, but he has an assistant, this other lawyer.
Gail Ostriker.
And she knew what she was doing,
Yes.
and I knew her. And to this day, I don't know why they wanted to try that case, other than they wanted to beat me because I was beating them on a regular basis.
Yes. Oh, I believe that at the time of the trial, this is what I believe, that a special unit from the ADA's or from the district attorney's office took the case, meaning that lack of evidence, insufficient evidence, witnesses coming forth, eyewitnesses saying that I'm not the shooter, that they know who's the shooter, alibi defense. So I believe that there was a special unit assigned to this case for the conviction. Even the judge is involved. I believe that they brought it to the right judge for it, and waived the jury.
We're about to end, but I want to tell you something.
Yes.
Before I did your case, I had already tried, say, half a dozen murders in front of judges, non-jury, and I won 5 out of 6.
Line, 'cause friends are friends for